Greetings, community. It's me, Kevin, Entropy in Comics. And great to be here. I know it's a Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day. If you're not into the game, I appreciate you being here. This is my first unboxing of a pre-order on this channel. And if you decide to hang out with me, I appreciate that. And what I'll end up doing is not only going through the books that I pre-order over 2 months in advance, I will do a small, not necessarily review, but a touch on what these small summary on what these books are about and some of my favorites of them. And here we go. Starting off with Black Cat #2. I've been reading the Black Cat when it came out. What was that? 2018 and or 2019, and when it stopped in last year, shortly before it came out with issue 13, I was a little disappointed, and we started out with the King in Black. So I'm glad that Black Cat is back. And let's cruise this. How you doing, sir? Hope all is well as with you, and hope you and yours are doing well. I'm just going through some of my pre-orders right now, and this is the third book of the Black Cat #2. So I tend to end up buying an A and B of a lot of stuff that I particularly enjoy, and if it's something I really like or might be specking on, I tend to buy more than 2 copies. So that's explains Black Cat A, B, and C. I am a symbiote slut and a half. So I'm doing this King in Black. That is an A. This is the B, which I believe is the spoiler cover, and I'm wrong. That is a E cover, but that is a spoiler cover. This, I believe, would be considered the connecting. And I have the tattoo. So I am buying this all the way through as far as the A cover, the connecting cover, the spoiler cover, and the tattoo covers all the way through. This is complete sets. 7 Secrets. This is a great story about 7 secrets and the organization that is there to protect them and keep anyone away from obtaining all 7 secrets. Firepower. It's kind of a mystic kung fu power. Basically, what it is you're able to generate a firepower. It's an ancient source of martial arts that was lost a couple thousand years ago, and it really has some in-depth, also secret society type stuff that's really fun. Stillwater. This is a Chip Zdarsky book that he's been dying to read, and he finally got to release this. I was following him on this thing, and this is a book I believe that can last a good 5-6 years, and it's telling the way the pace is. It keeps you there. There's so much that can be told in this be careful what you wish for type story. It's great. CSROs. Hints on the horror, gore. It's tied into depths of water, and I guess I could say that mermaids, sirens, and it's a lost treasure. It's a great story by Cormac and Duck, and I'm loving it all the way through. Did an interview with them back last year with Rod the Rican and had a great time. Fell in love with the story, and that's why I'm picking it up now. I've been a Usagi Yojimbo fan of old, being that they're doing the Wanderer's Tale, which is kind of a twist on some of the stuff that they were doing way back in the 80s. I had to pick it up. Peach Momoko all the way through, and I'm picking up double copies. Philadelphia. Something I've been buying since day one. Love the story when I was first read the pitch. Interviewed Mr. Rodney Barnes, and I can't get away from this story. So this is issue 12, ending the second arc. That's cover B, done by McFarlane. Here's the cover C. I'm on board. My concern is that I know that Mr. Rodney Barnes is doing his own publishing, so I'm only in hopes that, hey, Perry, how you doing? TK? Hope you guys are doing well. Gary? That the ongoing series will be made readily available to everyone, and that it would be on a Diamond account, so it would be easily for anyone, shop owners, individuals like myself that like to do private, or I should say pre-orders, have the ability to pull up on the Diamond and be able to order. That's my only thing. So to you, Mr. Rodney Barnes, I wish you all the luck, and I hope that this thing grows immensely. That way, you can go ahead and facilitate not only more artists and creators, but I just want to make sure that your properties and everything are obtainable by us readers. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 113. The significance of this character right now is traveling through time. The cool thing is this character first made an appearance back in 101 as far as some of the significance that was going on in the storyline. Killer stuff. This is like, I went to 4 different shops, picked up an A and B from 4 different shops, so this makes the 5th set. That's correct. This is set 5 for me. Daredevil, second print number 2, 25. Didn't get the first one. Second best is better than the rest. So here we go, and moving on. It's going to be a Spider-Man. I believe this is number 3, right? Number 3 of, 3, cover A. A and B in this one all the way through. So, yes, I don't believe that's a B, is it? Yeah, it is. Huh. B. Is that really 3? Sure is. My mind's being lost. So, there it is. Got it. Moving on to Venom. Venom 32, cover A. Cover A's. Check that one out. I really like this one, this cover. This is a pretty badass cover. I believe that was a C. No, that's an E. Way down the road. Everyone had the hots for this one. And when I saw it as a pre-order way back when, I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So that's definitely something that's going to have to go in some type of Mylar. Gotta love brown work. You know, Ryan, you do kill work. Monica, love the money. Oh, okay. Here we are with 3, cover A. 33. Now, I don't know if you know, if you do, I'm throwing out there's a redundancy. Cates and Stegman announced that they're finishing up on 35. I actually did drop a video, I believe, a couple weeks back on this channel. So, just if you didn't know, Juggernaut, this finishes out issue 5 right here. This has been a fun story, man. And I knew it would. I'm a Juggernaut fan. He's got a unique personality, and in the Marvel universe, everyone has a unique personality. Don't get me wrong. It's just one that I can relate to. Inkblot 5. Emma Kubert. Keep killing it. Loving it. Loving it. Issue 6. And Mr. Space Cadet that I am, I accidentally ordered an issue 6. Doubled up. But hey, it could be worse. Unsacred. This is the second series. If you're not reading this, it's only because you may not really heard much of Mirka. If you are reading this, then you know Mirka, with Mercy. She just did Deep Beyond that this released. She has a very unique style, both in her art and her storytelling. Doesn't work for everyone, and it even seems, I attributed a little bit of loss in translation. When I've talked to Mirka, I can see that she's an individual that has a big heart and likes to express herself. So she gets lost in the languages that she's trying to interpret and deliver. So I think it's the same way with her work. It's not delivered with the full intention that she has in the interpretation. I think I would imagine it would come across a lot different when you read her European stuff, because we're getting it a good 6 or 7 months behind. So, and even then we're only getting an interpretation of. So as you well know, you're not always getting the correct interpretation. Claim 2 of, I believe, 4. Yeah. Now this is, like, if I recall, based off a board game. Doesn't matter. This adventure is funny as hell. Definitely adult, on that 14 and above. Shout out to Justin Birch on the letters. But this is an Alms in a Greg Wright book, and it comes across very satirical, very funny, very slap in your face type stuff. There's so much going on as far as in the adventure, and as far as the I recommend it only for those that don't mind slapstick humor. Just leave that. It's funny as hell. I'm a Source Point Press family member, as I like to deem myself. So yes, Frank Gogol, this would make issue a possession issue, meaning I own 7 covers of this, and along with 2 of his exclusives and 2 of the 1 in 5s. Yes, I am a huge Frank Gogol Dead End Kids fan. And at some point, I can always make these available to people. I know not everybody had the opportunity to get it. And being that I do, I like to try to find the availability to give them out to people that don't. Mr. Derek Gunn, dude, you keep slaying me with these Warcorn books. This is a miniseries. I believe there's going to be, I know at least 3. And it might be a 4-issue miniseries. And it ties into the Franklin and Ghost universe. Yes, I had to get 2. It's funny. Again, it's very close to that Claim style humor where it's just like, during Claim, I laughed out 3 times. I have another issue. And during the Warcorns, I was privy to a digital issue and another private issue. I laughed out loud twice. It cracks me up when I crack up. So you're reading a great book. Wolverine number 9. This auction clan thing, looks really interesting. I'm curious to see how that develops. It could be something long term. How to get the variant of the alien. Forgive me if I'm going through these things really fast. I have a mountain of books that I have. Edgar Suko, this is the 2nd series, ending the 2nd series. 3-issue miniseries on this one. The first one that they delivered here in U.S. was a 6-issue miniseries. And I keep promising myself that it will stop on certain things. And I think I just picked up on the issue. I've already ordered. I think I'm deep in the issue 2 on the 3rd series already. I can't stop. Department of Truth. Like Chip Zdarsky, Tynion, and the upcoming Nocturna books with Snyder. These are guys and books that I've been following for a while. And when they made their announcements, the stuff that they were going to do, I was totally on board. So it's very common that these are the type of things that you end up seeing me buy as an A and B cover. The Nocturna that's coming out, which FOC is this Monday. I have 2 cover A's. I think I ordered at least 3 of the glow in the dark covers. Some places are using those as an incentive to go ahead and order the first 3 issues or first 3 covers. So as an A, B, and C, and then getting the glow in the dark, which I believe is an E cover, as an incentive. They're trying to push it, but it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of sales as much as I thought. So I have the belief that people are going to go, oh, wow, there's a bunch that come back tomorrow. And they're all going to be gone. So, keep your eye out for the Nocturna. Thor, number 11. Been buying Thor since day 1. Deep inside Thor, this is already ending into the 2nd arc. So if you're not already reading it because you're not into the Kate's thing, I get it. But if you are reading it, you know how much it's being loved by all. So here we go with multiple covers, 2 of the A's. I think this is one of the C, right? Yeah. One of the C. They end up canceling the 2-tone, which I believe is going to be out the next month. Batman Adventures, cover A. This finishes out that miniseries of 8 issues. It was actually only supposed to be pitched as a 6-issue miniseries, and they kind of drug it out. And the reason why they launched that cover is because it was actually supposed to come out during the early of December, and being with the COVID situation and everything had been shut down a couple months, unfortunately, that's why it got released when it did. Transformers Escape. I don't know. I really have no idea why I picked this up. I am going to read this because I'm curious of why I picked this up. So hopefully I may even do something special about this book just to tell you why the hell I picked this up. Namor, part of the whole King in Black tie-in. Is it a real true tie-in? No? Is it interesting? If you got nothing else to read, it's there. Is it awesome? It's all right. I'm liking it. I mean, I wouldn't rip it apart or anything. Does it directly tie in? No, loosely. Yeah, very, very, very loosely. Like, yeah, like crochet after 10 years. So, Neymar, number 3, right? Yeah, I think that finishes that out. Had to do the Ice Cream Man number 1 for $1. Why not go ahead and buy the first issue as cheap as you can get it, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this whole massive box off to the side, slide this box over to me, and then I have a whole nother box right here. And I'm going to see if I can put a few of these things off to the side. And I think I did that right. I sure did. Nice. Got lucky. So what I'll do is I'll take these, put those there, and I'll come back to you guys here. Put you guys there. Bear with me. And away we go. Thank you. Here we go. Firepower. Number 7. Another one that I've been reading since day one. Kirkman, you're killing it. Most people usually snivel about all the dialogue you throw in there. There's way more action in this than I've read anything that you've ever done, Robert. This is amazing. It's fun. A great adventure. Keep it up. My wife and son love Agasuko. It's my half brother and his wife love it too, to the point that they can rip it apart and show you how it relates in the real world, as far as the satirical, the political, the social, all that. It's amazing how, if you watch it just for the surface, it's a surface show. If you want to rip it apart and get in deep, it's actually a deep show. Eternals, number 1, cover A. I haven't got to read it yet. I'm looking forward to it. If you don't know, I live out here in the Los Angeles area. So the reason why I'm telling you is I like to pick up blank covers. 2 reasons. 1, living out here in the LA area, I'm privy to a lot of artists and creators. So sometimes I have the luxury of being able to ask one for a particular price to do some work for me. Pretty nice. 2, most people don't realize this. More times than not, your blank covers tend to be your lower print runs. Doesn't mean it's always desirable, but when you're talking lower print runs, it tends to be your blank covers. Unless you get a high ratio, a 1 to 150, 1 to 100, and so forth. Yeah, my son and I are big fans of Scotty Young. So if you start seeing a lot of Scotty Young covers. Gwenum versus Carnage, King and Black tie-in. I have the belief that you'll end up seeing a lot more of MJ as a Carnage, possibly Codex type thing, regressive. If you think about it, really, Mary J, outside of the whole Wolf thing, doesn't really have anybody as her, arch nemesis type thing. It doesn't. There's no. So it would be a really good one if it was MJ, because there's history there, and it would be something kind of cool. And variant. This is one of my favorites right here. This is one clean cover. I have to admit, I bought this one just because I liked it. I had no idea there's going to be some spec value there. And yeah, the idea behind this was just, it was ratio. I thought it was an okay for, cover, but it was more just because of the ratio aspect. Strange Academy. I've been buying, my son and I met Scotty Young when he was first talking about Strange Academy. And we bought into the story way long ago. So when it came out, I ended up buying a lot. So we've been, basically what you see right now is what we've been purchasing every issue since it's come out. Been picking up 2 of the character spotlights to go all the way through to pick up all the characters. That will take a year to do. And then I've been buying all the variants just to match it out as a completionist type sickness. Really like that cover. Has that very Mardi Gras feel. Old school too, old world. All right, and issue 8, which I did get to read, and very sweet story. And yeah, I went a little heavy on that one. I usually don't do always 3. 2 of the character spotlights. And on issue 8, this was actually my favorite cover. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I like how they keep tying up the whole Bourbon Street and the whole New Orleans feel into it. When I was talking to Scotty Young, he said he purposely chose that area because he wanted, one, the reflection of the magic and the voodoo and the old world tie in to all that stuff and how culturally diverse it is. And 2, he purposely chose that area because he wanted to stay away from the West Coast aspect of like West Coast Avengers and all those Marvel characters, and far away from the New York area of Peter Parker and all those guys, you know, the Fantastic Four and everyone else. So he did not want any of that to be. He wanted to place it in a totally different place, but not alien from anyone. Slab dab in the middle, old school, old world. I think it was the right decision. Planet of the Symbiotes. This is a Clay McLeod Chapman book. I love how he writes. I love the fact that he's always given symbiote books to write. His stories are always significant in the symbiote world and way too often overlooked. And I'm a huge Scream fan, so it always ties in. He tends to, do majority of Scream stuff. That's the cover B to the symbiotes, Planet of Symbiotes. This is Cerebus. I don't know if you're a big Dave Sin fan, but since he came back, now I've been wanting to pick up the books. To me, these are. This was the inspiration for McFarlane to hit 300. So his stuff is out there. It's not for everyone. But since he's back, I felt obligated to get it. This is something that came out, I believe, like 9 or so months ago. It came out a while ago. Being that they relisted it, I had to get it. Didn't realize I already ordered this, so I'll probably end up giving this thing out. I feel obligated to reread it too. What I like about it is you read those things. If you've never read one of the books, you read them like this, and then you flip the pages. It's wild. TMNT Leonardo. We're only waiting for one more to come on out. So for you Turtle fans, Turtle Power, we're only waiting for Michelangelo to come out, and that completes that whole series. Old school people. Now check this out. Graphic Fantasy is what released The Dragon, which later became, going through the Malibu and being released onto Image, Savage Dragon. Now I have at least 3 or 4 Savage Dragon things. And I think those are the ones that I didn't get signed. Eric Larson was supposed to cruise through. It didn't happen. I'm trying to remember what ended up happening. Anyways, I do have a bunch of Savage Dragon stuff to this day. The new book from Cerebus is this one. Cerebus in Hell 2021. I have a feeling, small one, that it probably ties in with the situation of just small situation what's been transpiring in 2020. So yeah, Cerebus. Been buying Philadelphia since day one, being that my son and I got Rodney Barnes and Sean Alexander to sign them. I can't touch them anymore. So if I want to reread, here we go. Got the issue 1 for $1. Gotta love those dollar firsts. King in Black tie-in. Black Knight. It's gonna be interesting to see where this goes because this could be a long-term player. I see them bringing them back, is what I'm really saying, and continue on a little mini series. Return of the Valkyrie. This new character, I believe, is not going anywhere, and they're going to start writing a bunch of stuff with her. I believe it's going to free up our present Valkyrie to go ahead and assume some more roles as a more of a Thor type role again. I'm curious to see how it develops, but what I'm getting at and what I'm trying to get to as far as the cover, Scotty Young again, is this, right? I went heavy. Like I said, I went heavy on this Valkyries. Right here is considered the first cover appearance of this character. This character, I don't believe, is going anywhere. We'll see. It's a spec thing, which makes sense why I end up picking a few up. So, moving on. Getting close. We are. Promise. Thunderbolts. King of Black tie-in. Looking forward to reading that one. Let's see if I can do this. Is there something? There we go. Don't want to get kicked off. I don't have a whole lot of viewers, but you know, this is something I ordered months ago, and they kept canceling and allowing me to reorder. So finally came. It took only, I don't know, 5 months or something like that. But American Mythology Productions. You'll also notice that this is another Clay Chapman book. And this, Origins, this is such a fun read. This is such a great read. I like these books to sit there and challenge your thought, make you think, And anything in a post-apocalyptic and that wrapped in that kind of a onion, yeah, I'm in. I'm so old, I used to watch this show. So, of course, I had to buy it. A and B, all the way through. This completes the first series, which we see the completion of the actual transformation. This is a play on the actual base story that was told way back in the 60s. They do explain that in that way. That is a slight alter storytelling of the original story, which I like. I like the fact that they come clean. They're saying we're not trying to copy it, but they're trying not to be so different. I mean, it's obvious that they're not trying to be too derivative to say that we're copying identically or we're not trying to copy at all. They're meeting that happy place, and it makes me feel good that they're not insulting it in any way. Spider-Woman. Been reading it since day one. Loving it since this day. And with the King in Black tie-in, it actually seems more interesting. There's a couple of duality stories going on. Whole time she's just looking for a cure, which is good enough for me right now. You don't always have to be fighting bad guys. Sometimes the inner fight is good enough. All right. I want to go do these ones backwards, just to, the final ones. And then, so let's go. We'll do it this way. More Valkyries. The 1 in 10. This is also a 1 in 10. Beast Wars, Transformers. They're celebrating, I believe it's a 25th anniversary of something. God, I want to say 35th anniversary. I have to relook that up now. This completes Canto number 2 series. So this is the second series of Canto number 2. This is the number 5 RI with a God, I can't remember who even does the cover now. Anyways, that completes the series. They're going to end up being 2 more series that comes out that I know of, possibly a one-shot in between. The series will continue into 2022. It's the only series that I know of through IDW that is signed for full series as a continuation on a contract like that. IDW doesn't do things like that normally, that I know of ever. This is the issue 3. This is the issue 2 of the Frost Giant's Daughter, which this plays better homage to the original storytelling of Conan than anything else that I claim to ever read. That's trying to emulate the original story. Ha ha. Cover B. Cover A. Yeah, that's a wild story. And we'll end it here. Star Wars High Republic. Ventures, retail incentive. I was only allowed to order one, and once I ordered one, they cut it off and said allocation was going to happen after, so it didn't matter how many I ordered after that. One was good enough. Hey, from me at Entropy and Comics, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed watching this unboxing, I will be doing more, at least once like this a month. I do CGC, I do CBCS unboxings. I will start doing a lot more content in little tidbits. This is unusual that I do something this large as far as length and duration. As far as unboxings, this is not too much out of the ordinary. This was well over 100 books. I try to keep my books under 100 on my pre-orders. Is what it is. That's pretty much it from me. Entropy and Comics. Thank you for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and you never know. Unless you hit that notification bell, you never know when I may be on. Take care. Stay well.